What is the greatest upset in sports history? Leicester City winning the Premier League in 2016. What about Stephen Bradbury lucking his way into the gold medal in the 1000 meter speed skating event at the 2002 Winter Olympics? Dude came third in the quarterfinals with the top two going to the semis. But the second place guy got disqualified, so he made it. Then in the semis he was in dead last, but all his opponents fell over, allowing him to take the lead and finish first, advancing to the finals. Then in that race he had the exact same situation as the semis, with all his opponents falling over and allowing him to cross the line in first place. Apparently that was his plan all along, since he didn't think he stood a chance of winning. But the guy was probably still amazed that it actually worked. Talk about an underdog story. Average Joes were 50. 1 underdogs versus Globo Gym. Never forget. This nobody golfer named Jean van de Velde makes it to the 1999 Open Championship, a very prestigious golf tournament where the best golfers compete. Jean plays the best golf of his life that weekend and is winning by 3 strokes on the 72nd of 72 holes for the tournament. He could have pulled out his wedge and played safe for a guaranteed win, but instead pulls out his driver and shanks the shot, followed by additional high-risk shots that failed miserably. If you're not a golfer, that's like having the chance to win $1 million by simply walking to and giving someone a high five, but you instead choose to try and do it while sprinting and doing a backflip. He barely makes his 6th shot, goes into overtime and loses the round. 16 seed UMBC beating number 1 Virginia. Only time it's ever happened. Miracle on ice. Rulon Gardner beating Alexander Karelin in wrestling. Karelin was 13 years undefeated and 6 years without giving up a point when he lost. He is considered the most dominant athlete in history. Edit. Changing Rulon Gardner to Rulon Gardner. Stupid autocorrect. Edit. Corrected dominate to dominant. Autocorrect struck again. Maybe Greece winning the Euro back in 2004. Japan 34 South Africa 32 2015 rugby match. And X200B. Edit. Left square bracket. Remember that time Bobby Borcher showed up at halftime and the Mud Dogs won the Bourbon Bowl? 1980 Olympics. US over USSR. The more you know about how good the Russians were and how inexperienced the Americans were, the more incredible it gets. Leicester City winning the Premier League a few years ago. They were given 5,000 to 1 odds, and only escaped relegation the previous year by nothing short of a miracle. The thing that makes this the greatest upset is it happened over the course of an entire season, 38 games, rather than just one game or a series. We are unlikely to see anything in sports even close to as profound as their title win again. It's also easy to forget that had Leicester not won the title that year, it likely would have been Tottenham, who haven't won the title since 1962. An absolutely insane year in the Premier League. Appalachian State over Michigan at the Big House in 2007. First ever game to be played on the Big Ten Network. No one has ever seen a top 5 team lose to a small DI school. This game still haunts my Michigan friends. Soderling defeating Nadal at the 2009 French Open. Cleveland winning the NBA after being down 3-1 to the best regular season team of all time. Or the Mavs winning it all in 2011, beating several contenders on their way. It's one of those two for the NBA, I think. Jenson Button winning the 2009 Formula 1 championship with Braun GP, who won the Constructors' World Championship in the same season. Close bracket. The 13-6 NY Giants versus the 18-0 Patriots in the Super Bowl. Throw on top of that one of the most amazing catches ever in football history in one of the most crucial moments of the game. Pretty epic. Edit. Thank you for my first gold. Close bracket. Bunch of random farmers take down the world's premier team. Proceed to become the best team in the world in multiple sports. 1776. Colorized. Seriously. The miracle on ice. No other team has been so under-equipped and won. When Ireland won the Quidditch World Cup. But Crumb caught the snitch. I can't believe that's not listed yet. Iceland. A country of 300,000 people with a part-time national team. Defeated England in the final stages of Euro 2016. What a game. Paris Saint-Germain not making it through the Champions League round of 16 a single time in 5 years despite spending over 1 billion, completing the most expensive signing ever. Since everyone said Miracle on Ice, I'm gonna throw Super Bowl III into consideration. If the Jets don't win that game, the Super Bowl might not exist. The first 2 Super Bowls were blowouts. And the talent gap between the AFL and NFL was so large that the NFL threatened to call off the merger. The Jets were underdogs by close to 3 touchdowns against an NFL team that was considered unstoppable in the Baltimore Colts. Across their last 16 games, they were 15-1 and were coming off of a 34-0 victory in the NFL Championship. Nobody gave the Jets of the Mickey Mouse League a shot. 1983 America's Cup broke a 132-year undefeated streak. 2007 Patriots losing out on a perfect season in the Super Bowl to the Giants. That one crushed me. 2016 NBA Finals. LeBron James and the Cleveland Cavaliers were down 3-1 in a best of 7 to the Golden State Warriors. The 2016 Warriors set the record for most wins ever in an NBA season with their 73-9 record. And their superstar player Steph Curry became the first unanimous MVP in NBA history. Without home court advantage, the Cavaliers won the next 3 straight to win in Game 7. That Game 7 ending with LeBron James getting a game-saving block in the final minute and Kyrie Irving hitting the go-ahead 3 to give them the lead. It was Cleveland's first NBA Finals win ever. John Daly winning the 1991 PGA Championship. He had missed 11 out of 23 cuts. Was 9th alternate but had a large number of players withdraw from the championship. Had to drive overnight from Memphis to Carmel, Indiana without knowing if he would be able to play. Just happened to replace someone with an afternoon tea time so that he could get some sleep before his round. Had never even seen Crooked Stick Country Club before his first round. And had to use someone else's caddy. According to ESPN, MSU over Duke this past Sunday SMH. My freshman year, I scored our high school's first ever soccer goal. Not only was it against the best team in our league, it was also on our own goal. I love how Jesse Owens beat the shit out of the Nazis in the Berlin 1936 Olympics. Rulon Gardner defeating Alessandro Carolin in the 2000 Sydney Olympic Games Greco-Roman Wrestling. Carolin went 13 years without losing a match. At the highest level, he won world-level titles from 1988 to 1999. He had never even given up a point in the 6 years leading up to the loss to Gardner. Gardner had never finished higher than 5th and had lost 5-0 to Carolin before. People were surprised he even made the finals. Gardner won 1-0 and made history. The number 1 seeded Virginia Cavaliers losing to the number 16 seeded UMBC Retrievers in the 2018 NCAA basketball tournament. The first time in history a 16 has beaten a 1. Villanova over Georgetown. 1985 NCAA title game. And X200B. Vettel bringing the Toro Rosso to pole and the win in the 2008 Italian Grand Prix. Now sure. Is he one of the best drivers to ever exist? Sure. But was that car the best on the grid? Not by a country mile. It was a freakishly good drive. And likely never to happen again for that team. Liverpool going from 3 behind to win the CL in 2005 is up there. Also the 1999 CL final. Zidane headbutt. Leicester Premiership win. Aguero. These are all football. Though, soccer. Game 7 2013 Stanley Cup Playoffs Leafs vs Bruins. It's been pretty much the same damn story every year since then. This year is time to finally stop that cycle. The Nika riot of 532 in Constantinople. The fans of the two most popular chariot racing teams, the Greens and the Blues, rioted after a race due to a strong collective anger towards the Emperor Justinian. When it was over, half the city was destroyed and thousands were dead. Argentina's basketball team winning gold over USA in the 04 Olympics. Outside of the ridiculous history of golds for Team USA, that team was stacked. And Argentina just had Manu Ginobili. Huge upset. Boise State over OU in the Fiesta Bowl always sticks with me just because it was so f***ing miraculous. I mean, who the hell ties the game on a hook and ladder and proceeds to win it with a Statue of Liberty on a 2-point conversion that would have lost them the game had they not converted? Being from Indiana, I would have to consider Milan beating Muncie for the state basketball championship in the mid-50s one of the best. It's what the movie Hoosiers was based on. Not the greatest, but a notable mention is John Daly's first PGA Tour win. He was called up as a reserve for the 1991 PGA Championship. A hillbilly nobody that just joined the tour and drove up Wednesday night to tee of Thursday morning. By Sunday he was a household name and went on to be one of the greatest players of the early 90s. Edit. I still maintain he would have been one of the all-time greats if he actually gave a shit about his career and had a proper manager coach to direct him. His natural ability was unmatched during that era. NASCAR. Derek Cope winning the 1990 Daytona 500. Unknown on the East Coast. Pit strategy kept him in the 2-5 and was second at the white flag to Dale Earnhardt. Earnhardt had a tire go flat in turn 3 and Cope won. The Vikings were 2 minutes away from going to the Super Bowl when our kicker, who hadn't missed all year, shanked a field goal. And we lost in overtime. Argum. When OJ was acquitted. Boise State upsetting Oklahoma in the Fiesta Bowl. Fresno State baseball beating Georgia for the NCAA baseball championship. Edit. Georgia not GT. Brock Lesnar beating The Undertaker. It seems like half the commenters here don't know what an upset is.